Hello, this is Mayor Cecil Willis. We want to give you an update on our status as of 2 p.m. September the 14th. But first, I want to thank each and every one of you Staffordians. You did your job. You heeded the warnings, you practiced common sense, and you prepared yourselves. And this has always been a trait in Stafford. Secondly, I want to thank our city staff, especially our great first responders in the fire department, police department, and public works. They did an outstanding job not only in monitoring, preparing, but swung into action when they had to. As of 10 a.m. today, the city went back to normal operations in all areas. Right now, our biggest problem is power outage, and we are in contact with CenterPoint in any way we can advise and assist them. So now I'm going to call on Chief DiCamillo and then Chief Ramirez to furnish you with their observations of what has happened in each of their departments and the city. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. I'm pleased to say that as a city, I think we did extremely well, both from a city department perspective, but as well as the citizens. During the period beginning at 1300 hours yesterday through 10 a.m. today, the city's emergency operations center was activated first at a level 3 and then at a level 2 status. What that did was bring the necessary departments together for information sharing and to ensure that once we received information, it was acted upon quickly and efficiently. During the course of the incident, the highest sustained wind speeds that are documented at the Sugar Land Airport sustained were 34.5 miles an hour with gusts to the range of 50. That occurred in the early morning overnight periods of between 2 and 4 a.m. The fire department did respond to an increased number of calls that were weather related, mostly associated with power line downs, arcing transformers, and other associated type incidents. During the course of the incident, we responded to no high water incidents, and street flooding, while it may have occurred in isolated areas, was not a significant factor either to the citizens or to the mobility of the city. Thank you.
Let me start first by saying thank you to the women and men of the Stafford Police Department who worked overnight and were out during the storm hours. We appreciate all the work that they did during that time. Also want to thank the men from the street department who again answered the call when needed and responded to areas during the height of the storm also. During 12-hour reporting period, which was 7 p.m. on the 13th to 7 a.m. Today, the Stafford Police Department responded to 135 calls for service, most of which were weather-related. During this reporting period, there was a 25-minute time frame in which the conditions were too dangerous for the officers to continue to patrol, and therefore they were pulled off the street for their safety. The city experienced major power surges overnight until approximately 0400 hours, 4 a.m., and then a significant portion of the city lost power. CenterPoint is aware, and they are working on getting power restored to the city, along with the other 375,000 customers that they have that they're working with. We do have some major intersections that are without power at this time. We are working with the street department to have stop signs placed at all of those intersections. If you come upon an intersection and the power is out and there's no lights, please treat that intersection like a four-way stop. This is not something only affecting Stafford. It is also affecting other cities. So if you have to get out and you have to drive, please treat those intersections like a four-way stop. I also want to thank all the Stafford residents for, again, as Mayor said, heeding the warning. Y'all did y'all's part. We appreciate it. That greatly reduced the amount of calls for services that we had to respond to. And finally, and last but not least, I'd like to thank Mayor Willis, Chief DiCamillo for their leadership during this storm event. And without them, we wouldn't have been able to have this smooth of an operation. So thank y'all both for y'all's leadership. Mayor?
Thank you, Chiefs. As you have seen and heard, we were very blessed and very fortunate. As the old saying goes, we dodged the bullet one more time. We were prepared in case we didn't dodge the bullet, so it's much better to be prepared and not to have to activate and do than what we went through. Again, much appreciation to each and every one of you. You don't know how much easier it makes the job of our first responders when they're not out dealing with other matters. This is something, I'll say again, Stafford has always been great at, tending to what needed to be tended to protect each other, and it has always been an outstanding trait. Shortly, our staff will be in a meeting to evaluate what went on during this event. From every event, we have the opportunity to learn and see if there's any areas that we might need to tweak or make modifications to. So again, thank you each and every one, and stay safe, and hopefully we won't be having any more videos on this event. So thank you each and every one.